This week on Sundays with Sully, we are hitting the water, we are checking out Garmin's latest technology and doing a little wreck hunting. Let's go check it out. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Sundays with Sully. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and share button down below on YouTube at Navtronics to stay up to date and in the know, the latest happenings in the marine industry, and also cool builds like this Reef Runner 28 right here. All right, guys. What are we talking about today? Well, today we're going to piggyback on from our previous episode where we talked about the SAT compass, and one of the things that it gave us was heave compensation. We start talking about the bottom and using sounders. This has the new PS70 Panoptix Transducer. So while we're down here in Newport, I knew there's a little wreck out in the harbor called the Cape Fear. It was a cement ship that sank over 100 years ago. And I said, you know what? Let's get out here and let's see if we can find it in the channel. So we went out here, and now, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and chop this up and probably edit it in like over here in this area. And you're gonna see what we're looking at here as we're going over. We're in 160 feet of water with this transducer, and you can see we've gone over this a couple of times, started mapping it out. But this green area that you're seeing right here is actually the wreck down there at 160 feet. So as we go over, you can see this is actually starting to map. You can also see there's some life in the water column as well. So go ahead, a little water noise here. We got all the boats leaving out of the boat show, guys. Hopefully you can kind of see this in these pictures here. As I spin this around, we start to see an overhead view of what we're looking at. And you get an idea right now, like I said, we're actually seeing the wreck down there, and we are mapping the bottom of the ocean floor down here. And again, this is the PS70 transducer. We've got a bunch of different views we can do with this here. And so if we go ahead, and now we're going to pan this out, you can kind of get a side view of it. You're going to see the beam angle on this transducer is 110 degrees. So we're getting a really nice wide field of view. So go ahead, and I'm going to spin the boat around a little bit here, and we're going to keep mapping here and seeing what's going on. If I spin this again, now you're going to see everything happening here. And we can do a nice little overhead view. You can actually see the wreck of this boat as we keep spinning around and mapping. So not only are we going to be able to do, bottom mapping with this, as we also look on here, we see some other things being marked on here as we spin this back around. There is life in the column. We're also seeing the fish there, so we can also validate that by going to home, going traditional, and now we can look on our B175 high wide, and we can start to see things there. Now, obviously, we haven't tuned this fully up on that sonar screen. We're getting a little bit of noise. We're going to go ahead and clean that all up, obviously, but we do have that happening right there. So what else do we have on here, guys? Let's see. We can go back and we can do a live view. And now we're going to get a live view down happening on the bottom here. And again, we really can start to see what that beam angle looks like as I start to come around. And we're going to spin around and go back over the wreck area here. And we'll start to see some more of those things. And now we go back and we're going to do a 3D historical again. Now you can see, guys, we're starting to map fresh again. We've kind of cleared that out, and you're going to start to see this start to populate in real time, and we're going to start mapping this boat here for you. So here we go, guys. We're going to start going over it, and you can start to see already those yellows and greens as we continue to map this boat here. So worth mentioning, like I said, it is the Cape Fear. It sank over 100 years ago. It was a cement boat right here off of Newport. Now you can really start to see this thing mapping where that wreckage was. You can get a really clean picture and see what is happening. So that's it, guys. That is this week's Sundays with Sully. It is the PS70 Transducer. There's a lot of power packed into this one, guys. We're going to have a lot more content about this. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more people using this transducer. Again, not just for fishing, but also for wreck finding, for seeing life in the water and all that stuff. So if you have any questions about this transducer or anything else on this build, leave it down below in the comments and we'll be sure to get it answered for you. And we'll see you guys again next week with something cool. Peace.